In June, a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737, Flight 236 en route from Denver to Los Angeles, found itself hurtling toward disaster when air traffic control mistakenly cleared it to land on a runway already occupied by a FedEx cargo plane. The two aircraft, one carrying 174 passengers and the other transporting 25 tons of freight, came within 200 feet of each other before automated collision systems forced the Southwest jet into a steep climb. The incident, captured in harrowing detail by cockpit voice recorders, revealed a controller in Denver's tower muttering, "I don't see them, I don't see them," as alarms blared. This near catastrophe was not an isolated event. Weeks later, a Delta Airlines Airbus A321 aborted takeoff at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport after a recreational drone, operated illegally by a hobbyist in a nearby suburb, breached restricted airspace. The drone, a lightweight quadcopter purchased online for less than $1,000, passed within 50 feet of the jet's left engine, an encounter that could have shattered turbine blades and triggered an explosion. These episodes, amplified by viral cockpit footage and passenger smartphone videos, have ignited a fierce public debate. How can air travel remain statistically safer than ever, while feeling increasingly precarious to those strapped into their seats? The numbers tell a story of contradiction. For the 16th consecutive year, the United States has recorded 0 fatal crashes involving major passenger airlines, a streak unmatched in aviation history. The fatality rate for commercial flights stands at a minuscule 0.006 per million departures, meaning a person could fly daily for 30,000 years before statistically facing a lethal accident. Yet beneath this reassuring veneer lies a fraying infrastructure. The Federal Aviation Administration reported a 17% spike in serious runway incursions in 2024, with 28 Category A incidents, defined as collisions narrowly avoided through last-minute corrective action. From the algorithms guiding planes through stormy skies to the sleep-deprived controllers orchestrating their dance, we explore why flying remains humanity's safest mode of transport, and why that title feels increasingly fragile. The post-pandemic aviation boom has strained the industry's human capital. In 2025, major U.S. carriers employ over 70,000 pilots, a figure that masks a troubling trend, a hollowing out of mid-career aviators. The mandatory retirement age of 65, coupled with a wave of early retirements during the COVID-19 downturn, has left regional airlines particularly vulnerable. Captain Emily Torres, a 29-year-old first officer with a regional carrier, exemplifies this shift. Hired in 2023 with 1,500 flight hours, the regulatory minimum, she now commands 80-seat jets on routes spanning the Midwest. "My training was 90 hours in a simulator," she admits. "I've never experienced real engine failure, only pretend ones." When a Frontier Airlines crew misheard an altitude instruction while descending into Orlando International Airport, the Airbus A320neo descended to 10,000 feet instead of the assigned 11,000. Placing it on a collision course with a private Cessna Citation. Only a cockpit warning system and the Cessna pilot's split-second dive averted disaster. The strain is equally acute in control towers. John Mercer, a 22-year veteran at Chicago O'Hare, describes an untenable workload. "We're handling 70% more traffic than in 2019, with 20% fewer controllers. The tech helps, but when the screens flicker during a thunderstorm, we're back to basics, paper strips and gut instinct." In 2024, the National Air Traffic Controllers Association reported that 20% of controllers made fatigue-related errors, up from 8% in 2020. The Federal Aviation Administration's response, a well-intentioned but flawed fatigue risk management system, relies on predictive algorithms to schedule rest periods. Critics argue it fails to address root causes: stagnant wages, aging facilities, and a training pipeline that graduates only 800 new controllers annually against a need for 2,000. Boeing's Optimate system, rolled out fleet-wide in 2024, represents the vanguard of aviation artificial intelligence. This neural network, trained on petabytes of flight data, continuously advises pilots on optimal speeds, altitudes, and fuel burn. Yet, its deployment has sparked controversy. During a 2025 test at Seattle's Boeing field, an Optimate-equipped 737 MAX deliberately entered a controlled stall to demonstrate recovery protocols. While the plane landed safely, the maneuver, unthinkable with human pilots at the helm, raised ethical questions. "We're teaching AI to break rules that keep humans safe," argues Captain Raj Patel, a former test pilot. At Austin Bergstrom International Airport, NASA's experimental Sky Sentinel system offers a glimpse of aviation's future. This artificial intelligence platform ingests data from radar, satellites, and aircraft transponders to predict conflicts 30 seconds before human controllers spot them. In a July 2025 trial, Sky Sentinel averted a potential collision between a landing Southwest jet and a taxiing cargo plane, an event controllers later admitted they hadn't noticed. Yet the system has limits. During a simulated cyber attack, hackers spoofed radar signals, tricking Sky Sentinel into rerouting 12 flights into non-existent storms. The breach exposed a fundamental truth: AI's brilliance is matched only by its brittleness. 2025 has seen a 60% increase in severe clear air turbulence, CAT, compared to 2020, a phenomenon linked to climate change-driven wind shear. A Lufthansa Airbus A350 en route from Frankfurt to Newark encountered CAT so violent that unsecured luggage tore through overhead bins, injuring 14 passengers. It felt like the plane was dropped from a skyscraper, recalls passenger Michaela Green. The seatbelt sign was on, but people who'd just gotten up to use the lavatory, they became projectiles. Meteorologists now collaborate with airlines on turbulence prediction models, but accuracy remains elusive. We're essentially forecasting earthquakes in the sky, admits Dr. Alicia Wu of the National Center for Atmospheric Research. In Phoenix, where summer temperatures regularly hit 120 degrees Fahrenheit, the physics of flight are changing. American Airlines canceled 37 flights after tarmac temperatures exceeded the operational limits of regional jets. The asphalt softens, creating drag during takeoff, explains aerospace engineer Diego Martinez, and hotter air provides less lift, forcing weight restrictions. Carriers are adapting with mixed success. Alaska Airlines now paints its planes with solar reflective coatings, while United invests in engine cooling systems. But for airports in the Gulf Coast and Southwest, climate adaptation costs could exceed $6 billion by the drone epidemic. The Federal Aviation Administration logged 3,200 unauthorized drone incursions near U.S. airports in 2024, a 42% jump from 2023. Most incidents involve consumer drones operated recklessly, but security agencies fear more nefarious uses. In a chilling 2025 Pentagon simulation, swarms of AI-piloted drones disabled a commercial jet's engines by firing graphite fibers into its air intakes. While purely hypothetical, the exercise underscores vulnerabilities. A $10,000 drone could bring down a $300 million aircraft, warned cybersecurity expert General Mark Reynolds, retainer. Cyber attacks, the silent war. Ransomware attack on Midwest Air Traffic Control, a regional provider, paralyzed 12 airports for 18 hours. Hackers exploited a vulnerability in a third-party weather data system, scrambling flight plans and grounding 2,000 flights. We train for hijackings, not code, admits FAA Administrator Philip Washington. The agency's 2026 budget includes $400 million for AI-driven threat detection, but critics argue it's a drop in the bucket against state-sponsored hackers. Self-healing planes and quantum radar. Boeing's 2026 flagship, the 797 Dreamliner, will feature wings embedded with microcapsules of epoxy resin. When sensors detect cracks, the capsules rupture, releasing a glue that hardens within minutes. It's like a scab for airplanes, quips engineer Lila Nguyen. Meanwhile, MIT's Lincoln Lab is testing quantum radar systems that detect stealth aircraft and rogue drones with unprecedented precision. Early trials at Boston Logan Airport reduced false alarms by 70%. Reimagining training. United Airlines Denver Training Center now employs virtual reality modules so realistic that trainees report vertigo during simulated engine failures. We can compress 2 years of experience into 2 weeks, boasts Chief Training Officer Captain Sarah Wilkins. Yet skeptics note VR can't replicate the gut-churning fear of real engine failure. There's no substitute for sweat in your palms, argues veteran instructor Captain Tomas Herrera. As 2025 is only just starting, the aviation industry stands at a precipice. The same technologies propelling its safety record, AI, advanced materials, big data, also introduce novel risks. A single line of flawed code or an overheated battery could cascade into catastrophe. Passengers, for their part, remain torn. I check the safety rating of every plane now, admits frequent flyer David Chen, but what choice do I have? Driving cross-country isn't safer. For aviation professionals, the path forward demands balance. Automation is a tool, not a crutch, insists NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy. We need machines that make humans smarter, not humans who serve machines. The stakes transcend statistics. Every near miss, every sleepless controller, every drone dodged writes a line in aviation's next chapter. One that will determine whether the age of flight remains a testament to human ingenuity or a cautionary tale of ambition outpacing wisdom.
Life's